Castle, and today I have a video for you. It's a bit of a combination speed build real-time tutorial kind of thing in honor of National World Card Making Day, so I hope you all find some time today to sit down and get a little crafty. So today is also October 1st, and as such it's a new challenge for the new month over at the Digistamps for Joy blog. And our theme this month is anything goes, with the twist of the optional twist of making your own background. Right now, what you're watching me do is I'm coloring a currently free digi. It's only free through today for those people who are part of the Digistamps for Joy group on Facebook, and it's called Daisy Corsage. I'm sure it's already offered on the website as well if you want to pick it up and you're watching this video later on. It's a really fun digi to work with, and it was really fun to color. And even though I'm not actively coloring at the moment, what I am coloring with are the Prismacolor Premier pencils. I took a class on colored pencil coloring techniques a week from this video, and so I've been playing around with them a lot. I actually ended up buying the 150 set of Prismacolored pencils, which are the entire set of pencils, the entire color line of them, for about $91 off of Amazon. Most places sell these pencils for around $300, so getting them for $90 or so on Amazon is pretty awesome. So I'm really happy with the pencils, and I've been working on some of the techniques we learned in class a lot, and one of my absolute favorites is layering. So colored pencils are really cool because they're kind of transparent. So I had done a card not too long ago where I was coloring with Copics, and I was coloring in like a little boy with a ball, and I colored his shirt, and the shirt was too close to the color of his skin. It kind of looked like he was naked, and it was weird. So I ended up choosing to darken the color, and I thought I picked out a darker brown, thinking, oh, I'll just layer these two dark browns on each other and it'll only make it a darker brown. Well, I ended up accidentally grabbing a purple, and even though it made it this really cool yellow color, it was not at all what I was expecting. And these pencils work a lot of the same way. When you layer color on them, you can see through the color. They don't mix like Copics do per se, but like it shows through. And it's really cool. So I actually like to take a whole bunch of different colors that go together to some degree and use them to create this sort of shaded green color or whatever color I'm going for. I'm just looking at myself coloring in the green right now. And as far as colors I used for the greens, I used the sap green, light, spring green, apple green, and lime peel. I just used 4 colors for those. I usually start like I do with my Copics, and I start with my lightest color, and I do it opposite of how I do my Copics. I do it with my lightest color and go to my darkest color, and then my darkest color becomes my blend. In color, where I do the opposite with Copics, where I start with my darkest color and work to my lightest color, and my lightest color becomes my blend color. I don't know if there's science behind that or if I just invented it myself. I don't really remember. But, fun fact, colors show through with colored pencils. They're not like an opaque thing. They're transparent. So you do get a little bit of all the colors in when you blend it out, and it's really cool. I did actually have sitting on my table when I did this, I had the colorless blender pencil and a white pencil, kind of thinking I was going to maybe use them to blend out some spots, but the spots in this flower or this image are so tiny that I didn't really need the extra help. The darker colored pencils really came in and blended everything together really nice. And I was really happy with how all of the coloring turned out on this. And I'm finishing up the stems here, and after I color in the stems, you'll see me start to color in the flowers, and for that I use yellows, which I just started. So I have eggshell I used as my lightest color. I have canary yellow, I have deco yellow, beige, and lemon yellow. And yes, the beige is a little bit more of a brown color, I guess, but it's like a yellow-brown color. And I really like it to use it for like blending bases. If you saw yesterday's blog post, and I did that Lawn Fun card with the Happy Halloween, and I did beige as his like base coat on the dog, and then got darker as I went up. But I used a little bit more of a red because I wanted him to be a little more like browny red color. And then when I finished coloring the flowers, because there are a lot of coats, I guess a lot of layers that go onto the flowers, but when I finished coloring the flowers, and actually I'm going to go back to the flowers for just a second before I move on, yellows are hard. Yellows are hard with Copics. I've discovered yellows are hard with pencils. They muddy. I think it's just a nature of a yellow, like trying to use it. I couldn't for the life of me get it to be the bright color that I wanted, and it's quite possible I just put too many colors into it. And when you see the finished product, I actually think it looks a little bit better on camera than it does in real life. Unfortunately, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, so there's that. And I had a really hard time with the center of the flowers, too. I don't like how they came out. They look weird. But I think it's because I tried to color them green and then realized that was dumb. And then tried to, like, undo it, and it was just bad. Anyway, moving on. After I finish coloring the flowers, you'll see me go in and color the bow at the bottom there. And the bow at the bottom, I make red. I actually used to inspire the color palette, if you will. I found a challenge that I used, and it was sort of a winey cranberry red kind of color, and then some yellow and some pink and some green. So I kind of went with a yellow. I started with yellow, pink, and green. I don't really like to do color challenges that are more than 3 colors, because that tends to get a little overwhelming for me. And this one was more than 3 colors, but it was different shades of more than 3 colors. So I thought I'd try to get it to work, and it's probably far from perfect, but it's not too bad. And so to get the sort of winey, darker red, but not red because it's really kind of dark pink color, I did a combination of 3 pencils. I did the pomegranate pencil, the mulberry pencil, and the magenta pencil, and those 3 together will eventually go to color in the bow. While I finish up the coloring here before I move on to the technique part of the day, or the real honest technique, I know I talked a little bit about pencils, but I had a different technique I meant to show you today. And before we get to that point, I will give you some channel updates, I suppose, and blog updates and things like that. So, channel update. This wasn't supposed to be this week's video, but I kind of forgot that this Saturday was the 1st. I guess apologies are in order. I know I told you I'd have a Painted Autumn kit review, but that didn't happen, because it was 1st of the month, and that meant a new challenge, and it was World Card Making Day, and it felt stupid not to have a project on the video today because of that. So, I don't think I'm going to show you the Painted Autumn kit review. I may, no, I won't show it to you, because by the time I could upload the video, the kit will be no more. Those of you familiar with the Stamp TV kits know that they come out like once every 2 months, and the next one is coming out the 2nd weekend in October. So not this next, no, well, I guess technically the 3rd weekend in October, because I guess technically this weekend is the 1st weekend in October. So that, I'm probably just going to skip that video for you guys. But I do have plans for the Christmas kit when that one comes out in a couple weeks now. And that will be a bigger, better video than the August Painted Autumn kit anyway. So we'll just put that off to the side until that video, till the Christmas video comes around. There was something else. Oh, it's the end of the month, so technically today's video should have been a September haul video. And I didn't actually show you everything I bought in September. I did leave out some stuff, like the pencils aren't in there, and some other random stuff I bought isn't in there. It's just more some of my favorite purchases from September. So that is coming next week. Normally it would have been this week, but since the first fell on Saturday this week and it was World Card Making Day, decided to do this one instead. So the September haul video will be next week, and then I have a major work event going on, and it should be super fun. I'm actually really looking forward to it, but I'm worried about having time and energy to do a video for you guys that week, so I may just skip it unless I pre-record it next week, which is also very possible because I don't know what I'm going to do for it yet. And I think that's all I really have as far as channel and blog updates. I don't think I have anything else to say about any of that. So now you can see I'm just finishing up the bow here. I know the coloring part is long. I probably should have sped it up faster, but it's already at 2 times speed, and I still wanted you to be able to see what I was doing. While I finish this up, I will explain a little bit about the technique, which you'll be able to see in a few minutes here. So like I said, the Digistamps for Joy challenge was make your own background, so that's what I needed to do. And I have a few different background techniques I know how to do, and this was one I'd played around with and never found the right feel for a card to use it. And I don't know why, but this card just felt right for it, so I decided to give it a go. This does end up being a clean it and simple card. It's I guess technically I have to say it's a 2-layer card because of the fact that it's a Digistamp, so I had to glue the extra layer with the Digistamp onto it. But really it's a 1-layer card. I don't put any additional like pattern paper or anything like that onto it. It's just the card and the image and the stamp that I put on at the end. So I used, and I'll explain this a little bit more, but just to give you a heads up, it's going to be a regular A2 size card, and the video is going to cut here a little bit when I get ready to show you. There it is. So I have a regular A2 size card there, already cut, scored, and folded it and everything. And I have a piece of scrap paper off to the side there. You can see where I was doing some like blending testing over on the side. And there's my ultimate tool, a pencil eraser. I'm going to make a polka dot background, and I'm going to do it with the end of a pencil. So I have a couple different inks there, and I'll go over the colors in a minute, fitting that color scheme that I talked about earlier. And it's just stick the pencil eraser in the ink and put dots down. It's that simple. The pencil eraser I used was older. This is a pencil I actually keep in my craft stash and I use as pencil. Which means that sometimes there's like the eraser is not perfectly round. Which in this case worked for me because I thought it kind of made it look a little more abstract and a little bit more like leaves, and it was really cute. But if you were looking for an actual like round polka dot, you would definitely want to use a new pencil. So over there, I'm just dabbing off some of the ink. I'm not going to get it all off, which is why I pull out my Lawn Fawn stamp chamois and I just wipe it off. The ink just wipes right off. Unless you let it dry on there, then it's probably not going to come off as easily, but if you wipe it off right away, it comes right off. So I knew I wanted to be green. I wanted green to be the main color in the background, so I started with the greens, and then I think I used 2 of each color except for pink. I had 3 different pinks technically. One of them's more of a red than a pink, but it's all random. There was no rhyme or reason. I stuck the thing in the pencil eraser in the ink, and I put it on the paper. That was all I did. Oh, the card base is made out of the Gina K Designs Pure Luxury Base Weight White, which you guys know is probably one of my favorite cardstocks to use for card bases. And then ink colors, I have Memento Cottage Ivy, Memento Rhubarb Stalk, Distress Modelon, Distress Ink Antique Linen, which is actually one of my favorite distress colors, by the way. The Distress Worn Lipstick, the Distress Ink Picked Raspberry, which is another one of my favorites in the line, and then the Distress Ink Mustard Seed. I just have the most Distress Inks. I like the little cubies like that, so that's why you see me reach for them so often, because I can kind of keep them on my table because they're small, and I put them in the little Distress Ink tins and stuff. But yeah, so that's that. And the colors, and I've actually sped up the video here because you guys don't need to see me do this all in real time. Me making polka dots. I'll show you the finished product in a little bit here. I think I just have to add in the yellow, and since the flowers were yellow, I didn't add as much yellow in because I actually really discovered I liked the way the green and the pink looked together alone, and I was a little bit worried the yellow was going to ruin it. But I eventually discovered that the yellow added just a little bit to it, so I only put a few of the yellow dots in, and I just love the way it came out, and it looks even better in real life than it does on camera. And story of this card, since this card does in fact have a story, I had a girl at work with who I've become really good friends with, and her birthday is technically today, so happy birthday, Emily, if you're watching this today. I'll link to her Instagram in the description below, and you can see some of the stuff that she does. She specializes in hand lettering, and I ended up not intending this to be a birthday card. Actually, I kind of thought it was going to be like a thinking of you card. But it was too happy. The dots in the background and the colors, it was just too springy, too sunny to be like a sort of sad, depressing thinking of you card. So I thought it looked more like a happy birthday card, and I had a card set aside for her already, but this one just, I don't know, it made me happy, so I decided to give it to her. So she is now the proud owner of this card. But there you go, there's the finished product. Little dots, you can see, like, you twist the pencil eraser, especially with mine, because it wasn't the same shape. So I was able to sort of twist it and get the points in different spots and things like that. And here I'm just going to lay everything out. I'm going to put the flowers on somewhere, and I'm going to find the spot for my stamp. And the stamp that I use, it says, Happy Birthday to You. It's by Gina Designs. It was one of their old free incentive sets called Scripty Sayings. And, I bought it. I didn't get it for free. But when I bought it, because it wasn't the incentive stamp when I bought it. And just gonna put it on. Of course, I'm using my Misty to do this. And I also use the Gina Designs Black Onyx ink to stamp the image. And they just came out with the 1-inch cubes too. And I'm pretty sure I need to get those too. I just haven't bought any yet, but I do need to. So this is just a full-size ink pad, and I'm looking forward to getting the cubies at some point. I don't know how I feel about this. I really kind of wish I could go rewind time and redo this all over again. I would probably actually leave that corner section of the card undotted, because it does not muddy, it just makes the sentiment a little bit harder to read, with all the dots behind it, technically, I guess. You can still see it though, and it still looks fine, but the grading is so delicate that it looks kind of weird, with all the dots behind it, but it turned out just fine, honestly. And then, all I'm going to do is stick on the flower image with some Tombow Mono Dot adhesive tape runner stuff, and that's it. That's the end of the card, and I'll put a picture here at the end for you. So thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I will see you next week.